You know how it goes. Evening rolls around and you just want to settle in and relax with your crochet, but your family or friends want to turn down the lights to watch the latest Netflix series. Sound familiar? It might be time for a neck light. Hi friends, I'm Corey from Alpenglow Basin Fiber Arts. In this video, I'm going to share my honest and unbiased review of 3 different neck lights from 3 different brands at 3 different price points. Aside from the scenario I just covered, there's a ton of reasons why you might want to have one of these on hand or in your crochet bag. There's the dreaded dark stitches, there's power outages, car rides, plane rides. Anytime you find yourself in a low light situation or you're working with really dark yarn, a neck light comes in super handy. And spoiler alert, all 3 of these can probably get the job done, but there were some very notable differences between the 3 that you might want to consider if you're in the market for a neck light. And if you hate the idea of having something around your neck, I have an idea for you, so stick around to the end of the video and I'll share that one too. I also want you to know that this video is not sponsored, but I do want to extend my sincere gratitude to Glocusent and Lumos, who both sent me lights for my review. After the video, if you find you're interested in any of these products, I have left links below to each of the products I'm going to share. And I'm also excited to tell you that Lumos Lumos has given me a special code just for my viewers for the next 3 days to save 25% on a neck light from them. So be sure to check that out. The first thing I want to share about all 3 lights are what they have in common. All 3 lights are fairly simple to operate. They're very flexible. They're comfortable around your neck for the most part. They're all pretty lightweight, and they each have different brightness levels, some of them more adjustable than others. Finally, they each have 3 colors of lighting, kind of a warm amber color, a middle, neutral daylight sort of color, and then a cool white light as well. Beyond that, there are some unique features or differences between each of them, and I'll go through those now. The first light I want to talk about today is called the Lizard Light, and I found this as sort of an impulse buy in the checkout lane at Marshall's. It was $7.99, so I thought that was a steal. And I think you could find this brand or one similar to it for a similar price at those types of stores. Marshall's, TJ Maxx, Ross, those kinds of places. The Lizard Light can also be found online at baldhead.com, but I did discover that they only sell them in a pack of 2 for $34.99. And I imagine you probably have to pay shipping too. So maybe this isn't the lowest cost light of the 3, but we're going to talk about it anyway, just in case you can find it. It's one of those as seen on TV sort of things, so you kind of know where you might find something like that in the stores. This one uses 2 AAA batteries and it weighs about 5.5 ounces. And I did a little battery test with this and left it on overnight, and I found that it does hold its features through about 8 to 10 hours of use. And after that, you start to lose the ability to change the dimming features on it, and it just starts to slow down. There is just one button on the side that operates the on, the off, and then the different levels of dimness. There are only 3 brightness levels with this light, and I did find that even at the dimmest level, it's kind of bright, so you can't really go beyond that low level if you want a little dimmer light. I mentioned it has 3 colors of light, and it does, and the way you control that is with a button on the back of your neck, which is kind of a strange spot for that button, but you can toggle between the 3 colors of light using that button. And that's it. Simple operation. The light that you get out of this neck light is pretty even, but I will say out of the 3, it has the widest cast. So if you are sitting with friends or family and you're trying not to annoy them with the light that you're using, you're not trying to cast big shadows of the movement of your hands across the room, this may not be the best choice. And then there's one other thing I discovered about this light that I think really is kind of a fatal flaw. I didn't notice this when I had it on, but when I started filming the 3 different lights and how they worked, I noticed that this light has a bit of a strobing effect with it. It's not a solid beam when I'm recording it, and maybe you can see that in this recording. I think this could be an issue for people who suffer from migraines, or I've even heard that strobing can trigger people's seizures if they are subject to seizures. So that is something really important for those individuals and something to note about a light. And I think that you maybe get what you pay for because this is the cheapest of the three. Next up is our mid-priced light. And this one is available on Amazon.com. I saw it at $23.99, even though that is a sale price at 29% off. But I almost always see it around that price. So I think they keep that sale running most of the time. It is called the Glocusent Upgraded Neck Reading Light, and they do seem to market their products toward people who like to read at night in bed, those sorts of things. As a matter of fact, this light has the ability to toggle to a setting where it's on a 30-minute timer, so it would shut off after 30 minutes. And for crocheters, I feel like that may not be a feature you really want. You don't want your light shutting off every 30 minutes. But then as I thought about it a little more, I thought, what a great way to remind yourself to take a break, stretch, get up, move around. So maybe that 30-minute light is a good thing. It also comes with a 30-day happiness promise and a 36-month warranty. This one weighs in at about 4.5 ounces, so a little bit lighter than the first one. It is rechargeable, and it comes with a USB charging cord. This cord is only about 24 inches long, however, so it's a little bit short in my opinion. One charge on this light, they say can last up to 80 hours if you're using the 30-minute shutoff and the dimmest light setting, which I think sounds like a really long time. They did say that for the brightest light setting that it would only be about 10 hours of battery life between charges. Similar to the other one, the operation is pretty simple. It has one switch on this side for turning the light on and off, and then one switch over here to control the 3 different colors, and the other switch above that for the 3 different brightness levels. This light has a very even cast of the light that comes out of it. It is a bit more narrow. It says it's got about a 90-degree angle in the cast of the light. So it is a bit more narrow than the other one and a little less annoying to anyone sitting around you, but it still has a very nice and even cast of light over your stitches as you crochet. And I forgot to tell you that this one is also available in 4 different colors. It comes in a gray, a purple, a pink, and a blue, in case that's important to you. The third neck light that I want to review is from a company called Lumos Lumos, and this is their packaging, which is really cute. They definitely market to the knitting and crochet crowd. They seem to have a bit of a love for Harry Potter. There's some Harry Potter quotes on the box, and it's a really cute package, I will say that. This light is available at lumoslumos.com. And currently it's 10% off at a price of $49.95. And I noticed that they also offer volume discounts. So you can buy 2 or 3 lights of this at a more significant discount and often with free shipping. It also comes with a 90-day trial and easy returns. And this one too is rechargeable, again with a USB cable, but this one is 40 inches long. So this is a respectable length. Of the 3, this one is by far the most adjustable of the lights. So let me show you a little bit about that. But once it's on the back of your neck, these lights operate independently. So there's one switch on each of the lights, and you can turn on one light or both lights. This switch, if you hold it down, it will dim or brighten the light. It seems to have a memory too. If I shut it off, it seems to go back to the brightness level that I had set. But you do have to toggle between all 3 of the settings in order to get the light to turn off. So if you have one set really bright, it's a little bit of a shocker when you toggle to it. This one comes in at 3.5 ounces, so it is the lightest of the 3, and that's about 100 grams or the weight of 100 grams skein of yarn, so it's very lightweight. The other really cool thing about the brightness settings on this one is that it is infinitely dimmable. So this one will dim down really low, and it comes all the way up to a fairly bright level, but you can pick any level in between. So it's not a toggle between different brightness levels. It is infinite. And again, both lights. The one thing I will say about this light, even though it is the most adjustable, is it is the most difficult to get it set up and perfectly positioned for the work that you're doing. The light that comes out of the Lumos Lumos is far more directional than the other 2. It really has a bit of a spotlight effect, and you can see that in my B-roll here. But one thing I've found is that because of that, it is a little bit more difficult to kind of get it to sit right where you want it when you are working your stitches. So if you're holding your crochet, you get kind of like a spotlight here and a spotlight there. So you have to mess around a little. Now, the farther away from your lights, your crochet sits, the less that's noticeable. But for me and the position where I typically hold my hands, it is a little bit of having two spotlights that I have to kind of adjust to get to the right spot. The other thing to note is that if you do move your hands a lot while you're crocheting, you wind up moving in and out of that spotlight. So while this is definitely the least obtrusive to anyone around you, my family liked this one the best out of the three when we were sitting in a dark room watching a movie. It is a little bit more difficult to adjust. But honestly, I am reaching for this one a lot because I really like that I can dim it down to a very low light level, which is just perfect for what I need typically when it's a totally dark room and I don't want my light blinding me, but I want it to illuminate my stitches enough so that I can effectively do my work and be able to see. And it really is good from an eye strain standpoint. So of these three neck lights, which one would I recommend? Honestly, I would count out the low-priced lizard light completely, and not really because it's a bad light. It does do what you want it to do. But I do think that given that it has such a strobing effect on it, I don't know that it's the best thing for my eyes. And so I think I would just pass on that one. Although I will say it would be great if you just need it to maybe shovel a walk at night or go out and do something in the car or looking for something. It's probably handy around the house. I'll probably give it to my husband. But for me and crocheting, I think I would pass on that one. I also don't like that you have to change out the batteries. So of the remaining two, the Glocusent and the Lumos and Lumos light, which one would I choose? It's a toss-up, honestly. I really like how the width of the beam from the Glocusent light is nice and broad, and I don't get that spotlight effect, but it really doesn't dim down low enough for me to be satisfied. And with the Lumos and Lumos, I'm not crazy about the really tight spotlight, but I love how dim I can make it. And if you asked my family, they would probably choose this one because, like I said, it is so directional that they don't notice it as much when we're sitting together in a dark room. I think you can't go wrong with either one of these lights. And if you are interested in checking one out, they're both great choices. Now, for those of you that absolutely hate the idea of having something around your neck, maybe you have long hair like mine and it gets tangled in there. I have pulled out a few hairs with not the Lumos and Lumos light, but with the Glocusent light. I did notice that it kind of grabbed onto some of my hairs, and I found them in the rubber of the light and had to kind of untangle those. I do have an option for you. And this was another light that was sent to me by Glocusent. I requested this one because I thought maybe there are some people that really just don't want a light around their neck. This is the Glocusent Innovative Tri-Head Book Light. It is a book light that you would normally clip onto the page or the top of your book if you're reading in bed at night. It has these little wings that fold out so that you kind of get a broader light beam that comes down on your work or on your page. Oh, and the price on this one is very lightweight. The price on this one was between $15 and $16 on Amazon.com. I believe you might also be able to find any of the Glocusent lights on their website at Glocusent.com. It does operate very simply like the others. It has an on and off switch, and then it has a switch for the temperature of the light with 3 light temperatures available. And finally, a switch that toggles between the brightness levels. This one actually has 5 brightness levels, and it does get pretty dim overall. So I do like this one a lot. This one is really great if you use a lap desk while you're crocheting. So you can clip this right on the front edge of your lap desk with the light facing you, and then you can have your crochet right in front of you. And you can dim or pull down the light so that you're not seeing the light itself, you're just seeing the outer casing, but your family members don't see it either. So your light is illuminating your crochet with no problem, but it is very unobtrusive to everyone around you. It does create some shadows coming this way, which for me is no big deal, but it's something to consider. The other thing I like about this one is that it's freestanding. So if you are crocheting on a tabletop, you can just set it right next to you on the table and get your light that way or in front of you. The other thing I have is I have an arm on my sofa that is a flat surface. It's kind of a rectangular arm, and I can set it right on the arm of my sofa and just point it over towards my crochet, and that works great too. So this is a really great little option as another alternative to a neck light if you're not into that. The other thing is it really does fold down very small, and it fits right into my notions bag. So if you are traveling, they all really do fold down pretty small, but this one is the smallest of all, and it's kind of handy. So I want to thank you for joining me today for this video. I'm curious, are you in the market for a neck light? Will it be something that you put on your Santa list this year? Do you already have a neck light? Do you love it? Do you hate it? What brand are you using? Or do you have some other solution that I haven't even thought of? I'm curious, so drop those things in the comments below. And also, if you've enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss any of my future videos. Have a great one. See you next time.